Perfect. Okay. All right. April 10th, open mic session, and I might add, and you don't know this, but I know this. It's the last open mic session. Last open mic session today. Not the last session. I'm just going to rename it, and I'll explain that in a minute. But I'm not. I haven't been satisfied with the way this thing has played out. So I'm changing the open mic Wednesday, which, as you know, are the Wednesdays alternate with our sales meetings. We still have 2 sales meetings a month, and we had 2 open mic Wednesdays a month. And now I'm going to name them something else. I'll explain what that is in a minute. We're going to try something new. But I want to welcome you to the program today. Everybody at the moment is muted. You have your Canada phone number on the screen. You have your United States phone number. However, according to my controls here, it looks like everybody is on their computer except Tracy. Tracy, make sure, Tracy Williams, that you use the right phone number. It should be up on your screen. If you don't have a screen, Tracy, take a pencil. I'm going to give you the number. If you're in the United States, you should be calling 646-982-0002. United States, Tracy, 646-982-0002. Tracy, you might just send me a little chat there and make sure that you're feeling good with the phone instructions. Tracy, I'm good. Okay, perfect. Okay, that's great. And you were on the right phone. Perfect. All right. All right, so here we go. I'm going to close this screen up, and I'm going to, there it is, open mic. You've seen it. We've had it. We tried it. Open mic, folks, here's what it was. The original plan was we were going to have 2 sales meetings a month, 2 sales meetings a month every other week. But then I thought, if you, the members, had something that was under your saddle, that you had a problem, an issue, a concern, something was going on in your life, I wanted to be available as a sounding board. So I was going to get on the phone and just be here for you. It was an open, you could come on, and it was your program, it was your show, it was your problem. But I don't feel that this particular opportunity was taken proper advantage of. I don't think that we used it right, because I ended up doing all the talking, and that was for sales meetings. I talk on sales meetings, you talk on open mic, but it didn't work. So as you can see, it's kibosh, bingo, it's gone. Now, before I explain what the difference is, look at this. This came across my email today, and I kind of did a little editing, but this guy is trying to think who his travel agent is. Okay, it's a clear picture. I'm trying to think who my travel agent is, and by the looks of his eyes, he doesn't have a quick answer to that. Well, I think there's a lot of people out there, your so-called clients included. This represents this fellow right here. You know who you are. You know what you do. But I'm telling you, statistically, the people who have done business with you still don't know who you are. Or, here's one worse. They may not care who you are. That's worse. I don't know who you are. I don't care who you are. When I'm going to travel, I'll go look in the yellow pages. I'll go on the internet. I'll go find somebody. So this guy can't think of his travel agent because, for some reason, you were forgettable. You were forgettable. You were too vanilla. You were too plain. You didn't give this guy a reason to put you up into his forehead, into his memory bank, so he could say, hey, whenever I travel, I'm going with bingo, so-and-so. It's easy to remember my travel agent. My travel agent is Debbie, bingo, that's who it is. But I'm afraid that too many people on the phone today, maybe, I hope not inner circle people, but I think some of you are forgettable. And the reason being is that some make the mistake, I think, this is Mike's opinion, some of you think that it's business as usual, that you separate your personal life, which means your personality life, with your business life, which means your straight ahead, bottom line, bing, 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 boring business life. And if you bring boring to the party, you're going to be forgettable. So I'm strongly recommending, with this as our graphic, if you will, to bring your personality, to do something, say something, uh, um, provide something that's rememberable. That's rememberable. What the hell is memorable? It's memorable. That's what we want to do. We want to say something that's memorable. People remember me as the guy who doesn't know how to talk. See, that's how I position myself. Okay, so there you go. So here's the question. Now it's Wednesday. I want you to start thinking the rest of the day where you're going wrong. Now, maybe you're not going wrong. Who knows? Maybe you're not. But if you're going wrong, I want you to identify it. I can't identify it because I don't live with you. But think about it. Have a cup of coffee about it. Go have a happy hour about it. Where am I forgettable? Where am I falling through the cracks with my clients? Not with all 200 clients, but with the 10 clients that really mean something to me. Am I setting myself up to be forgettable? That's what I want. And that's where newsletters come into play. That's where thank you notes come into play. That's where a lot of things come into play to stay memorable in the mind of your client. So I think we beat that one to death, so we're going to move on to the next one. This one, I just put this on today just because I thought it was kind of fun. When this guy, Shaun White, he was in the Winter Olympics. He was a snowboarder, and everyone loved him. I mean, it was this long, hippie-looking, red hair, carrot top, long hair. But boy, could this guy ride that snowboard. And when they interviewed him, everybody loved him. He just came across very well as a squared-away guy. Shaun White was his name. And he said something that I don't know where I got this particular quote from, but he's one of the great sports stars. And he said it's impossible to become and remain successful by yourself. Now, you break that down. You might be successful by yourself. You might become successful by yourself. But the key is, how do you remain there? How do you stay there? And that takes help. That takes guidance. That takes somebody who's not scared to talk to you. That's somebody who's not scared to look you in the eye and tell you where you're going wrong. That's your coach, your mentor. Now, I'm not saying it's me. Get one. Wherever you are, go find somebody. Get one. Talk to them. It's not somebody who pats you on the head. Somebody who'll really tell you what you need to hear, because that's how you remain successful. Getting there is one thing. You can get there by luck, if there is such a thing, but luck favors the prepared mind. Remember that. Luck favors the prepared mind. But remaining there, that's where you need somebody in your court, because we're all lazy. I said it the other day. Somebody said, I can't believe how people act like this. And I say, I can, because they're human. And humans, by their very nature, and please don't get mad at me for this, it's just my opinion after 64 years, people by their very nature are lazy. I didn't invent that. I've just been watching it for 64 years. And some of them are lazy slugs, but I don't want to get into that. But I mean, it takes effort. It takes doing something. And if you recall, that was our motto for this year. This is the year of the do, the D-O. Let's go do something. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. If you do it right, do it wrong. Just do something. And when you do something, something is going to happen. If you want more letters, write more letters. If you want more emails, write more emails. If you want to meet more people, go meet more people. If you want to get thrown out of more offices, go walk into more offices. I mean, it's a direct correlation. The more you do, the more things will happen. And the more things will happen, the more good things will happen. I mean, it's a total correlation. But we as humans, we build up in our mind reasons not to do things. And I'm telling you, if you continue, and it's okay if you continue to do it, but you're cheating yourself. Now, if you want to cheat yourself, then go ahead. But if you want to become more successful, whatever that is, if you want to become more successful, then you have to go do more. That's the key right there. So, the Inner Circle, we are turning the Open Mic Wednesday, get a load of this, to Idea Wednesday. I like that. The reason I like that is because has anyone ever come to you and said, hey, I have an idea? Well, nobody ever said, oh, gee, that's too bad. You have an idea? Why don't you go tell somebody else? I'm not interested. That doesn't happen. When you have an idea, that's like drawing people into your world saying, hey, you want to hear my idea? everybody will say yes. Everybody. Ideas are powerful. Now, the downside, if there is such a thing, is that we don't have enough of them. You don't have enough of them. And maybe one idea you had didn't work. Hell, holy cow. Give me 1,000 ideas, and if 999 don't work, that's okay with me. But ideas, creativity, moving forward. You don't want to be boring, and people with ideas aren't boring by the very definition. Now, might not be good ideas, but get a load of this. There's no such thing as a bad idea. Okay? Now, it may not be a good idea, but there's no such thing as a bad idea, because any idea can be cultivated, tweaked. It could be timing. It could be a lot of reasons why that they're not good ideas. But with time, with a different angle, with some tweaking, with who knows what, that good idea could turn into something that's going to generate money for you. So here's the new deal. We're having our sales meetings every other week, as we always do. But if you come to Idea Wednesday, if you sign up and enroll and you register and you come into our Idea Wednesday, you have to be prepared to share an idea. Now, not that we might not get to you, we might not get to your idea, but I want to be able to look at the roster, and I have the roster. I have it in front of me. I see who's on the line here, and I'm going to call on you. Not today because we're not prepared, but I'm going to say, hey, listen, I have what's your idea today? And the idea, let me go further. The idea, I dictionaried the idea. I looked that up. Dictionary, what's that mean? But here's what the dictionary said. An idea is an opinion, a suggestion, an impression, a plan, an objective, a brief outline, a thought, a concept, or a mental image. That's what an idea is according to Webster. So preferably, what I would like is to hear some, what if? What if we did this? What would happen if me and my people tried this? Okay, now that's an idea, and we could kick it around a little bit. But also, what would be a great idea is if you said, I tried this once, and this is what happened. And maybe collectively we can, kick it around a little bit and come up with a tweak or another idea, or another option or another plan of attack. So here's the deal. You come with an idea. It could be a what if this happens. It could be I tried. Now that is what's the Idea Wednesday. Now you're not ready for that, but I just don't want to be the one that's always talking here. Now the rules: you must come to the meetings prepared, preferably that you tried something yourself. And number 3, very important, this is like pulling teeth from adults in brainstorming sessions. Don't worry about it. You can't embarrass yourself. Don't worry about it. There's no such thing as a bad idea. All right. So before we go any further, I'm going to try something here, and I hope that the lines aren't going to be all squeaky here. But right now, the lines are open. So your dogs, your soup, your next door neighbor, everybody in your office can be heard. Your line is open now, so don't say anything bad about Mike. Does anybody have anything to comment on this so far?
Oh, Mike, it's Eva. I think it's a great idea.
Okay, thanks, Eva. Thanks for that feedback. Yeah, we're going to be bringing ideas, trying to get people into a little more action here, and that's what we're going to do. Okay.
Can I just throw one other thing out?
Yeah, sure.
Because we're going to be coming with all different ideas in different directions. Do you want to keep it that way, or do you want to give us a topic like networking, and then everybody come up with ideas on that, and postcard market, or you want to just keep it open?
Well, it's a great point, Eva. I'm glad you brought that up, because I think what I want to do, and I'm just thinking it through right now because it's brand new to us, is that if you have an idea that you're going to come to the meeting with, send me an email so we can monitor it a little bit so it doesn't turn into a big Donnybrook of 25 people. If that doesn't work, then I'll throw out ideas on certain things. Okay, now keep in mind that you certainly can't do anything about this, but when you type softly because we're all going to hear you. So I'm going to do. Okay, so everybody's muted, so you can bang on that typewriter, bang away. You can't. Okay, now you can really do it. Hey, listen. Speaking of that, my wife always says to me, "Why do you have to bang on the typewriter? I mean, it doesn't, or the keyboard, whatever it is. I don't know why. I just do. Some people are louder typers than others. Sorry." But Eva, that's a good point. What we'll do is, if you're going to bring something, just shoot me an email. So I have an idea, Mike. Boom, send it to email, and then at least I'll have something here as a control. Because what we don't want is these meetings to get out of hand. Now, LJ is not on the line today. Not that I could tell, but he emailed me a while back, and he has some trips, high-end trips to Hawaii. His specialty is Hawaii. He lives in Florida. He's a member of the Inner Circle. And he emailed me and said, Mike, I put together these huge trips, great trips, but wouldn't it be nice if members of the Inner Circle, I mean, it's a packaged trip, and wouldn't it be nice if some of them, kind of like not a tour operator, but everybody in the club can offer it to their people, and he would price it so it would be nicely commissionable. So he came up with the idea that if you have a trip to Greece, throw it out so everybody then perhaps could help you market it in your particular territory, not for courtesy, but for a piece of the action. So I'm going to talk to LJ about that and come back to the group and see if it makes sense. Now, here's something that's very true, folks. So you can write this one down. You can type it down, bang on your typewriters. I found this years ago. People buy into their own ideas first. In other words, LJ has a trip to Hawaii. Now, that was his idea. He put it together. Well, whatever ideas you have, you will devote 90% of your time to your idea, not to LJ's idea. Not this Hawaii. I wasn't thinking about Hawaii. I don't want to sell Hawaii. I'm not thinking about Hawaii. I'm thinking about Greece. I want to do something in Greece. So just know that people buy into their own ideas first. So that's why you, as a good salesperson, that's why you have to talk to your clients so it becomes their idea. Because when it's their idea, they'll buy into it faster. If it's your idea, if it's your recommendation, if it's your suggestion, then there's going to be a little knee-jerk negative response. But if you can turn it into their, wow, that's a great idea you just had, Eva. Now it's Eva's idea. See, now she can buy into that a lot faster than what Mike's suggestion is. See, so just keep that in mind. So we're going to kick around this this packaging. If we can help each other promote it and make a few dollars by doing so. Somebody says, gee, I'd love a high-end trip to Hawaii. Hey, listen, I got one. Let me take a look at this brochure, and you might be able to pick up 15% or whatever it is. So just know that this kind of thing is being worked on. Here's something I want to just throw out at you, and this is under the idea category. I walked into a Mexican restaurant the other day, and there I just said, how many? Table for two, boom, bingo, you're by the front desk. Next thing you know, you're eating enchiladas. Well, at the front desk, there was a bowl, and let's call it a goldfish bowl. And it was filled with business cards. And you've all seen them. You've all seen, for a free lunch, drop your card here. All right. Well, here's the way I want you to think. That this is just an idea. I don't know if those are successful or not. I don't know. I haven't analyzed it. But I looked in, and there was 20 or 30 cards in this goldfish bowl, and I just walked by. I didn't have a card on me, so I didn't drop it in. I would have. I wanted free lunch. That's okay. Well, how about if you write a letter to the restaurants in your area and say, look, I'd like to get in on this game, and I'll buy the lunch for your people. In other words, once a month, I like to buy lunch for somebody who picks their name out of the hat. And they'll put the cards in the goldfish bowl, and we'll pick out a lunch, and I'll pay for the lunch. And you're going to do something that restaurants don't do, though. You are going to contact everybody in a follow-up email, because the email is going to be on their business card, and you're going to thank them for frequenting this restaurant and tell them that how much their patronage means to this Mexican restaurant. They don't do that now. All they do is drop your card, here's an enchilada, see you later, goodbye. That's what they do now. So you're going to take that, throw it into a database, send them an email, and then you're going to do something that no one else does. You're going to send everybody whose card went into that bowl an email saying Jimmy Joe Blogs won the enchilada. You know, drop your card in again, maybe you'll be lucky next month. We're going to do it again. So they never follow up on that fee. Here's a card, here's a lunch, bingo, end of story. You're going to say, hey, thanks for coming in. He won, you didn't, do it again. And by the way, I'm your friendly travel agent. If you ever want to stop by my office, I'll be glad to say hi. You got nothing to lose, nothing to lose. And what'll happen? Will your visibility go up a notch? Yes. Do I say to you, your biggest problem is not enough people know you're alive? Yes. By giving away an enchilada once a month, will more people know you're alive? Yes. Therefore, your chances of doing good are better. So there's an idea. There's an idea. Now, just for fun, and go into. Oh, wait a second. Jan Campbell is all right. Phyllis said lunch is on me. Jan Campbell said totally okay. Love it. Type in, folks, right now. Type in if that's a decent idea starter. Let me see if I'm on the right page or not. Okay, I'm just. Yeah. Now here. I love this one. Somebody said, I'm willing to try it. That's such a cool sentence. That is such a cool sentence. Now, in and of itself, I'm not going to say who said it. In and of itself, it's a great sentence. It's a great comment. It's an empty promise, though, until you do it. And when you do it, you're going to find out. You're going to find out if it's a good idea or not. There's no such thing as a bad idea. There's no such thing. You're going to find out, and I think this is great because it's a no loss. It's absolutely no loss. And if you remember, one of our members on April 1st, remember he did the free drive-through at the fast food. Remember, now that cost him quite a few more dollars than I'm suggesting you. I'm just suggesting, a lunch. At a place that's maybe $20, maybe $30, but I'm telling you, you're gonna get 60. Now, here's the key. Wait a minute, back up a minute. When you do that, you want permission from the restaurant next to the Goldfish Bowl to have your company name and perhaps address. You're not selling anything, but the reason why you're doing that is because I'm coming in to buy an enchilada. Next thing I know, I'm getting an email from the local travel agent. Well, they might not connect the two. If it's you the one buying the lunch, now you have every right to follow up. Okay? You have every right to follow up. So make sure that you place your name next to that Goldfish Bowl so they can connect the dots. Because in your email today, you've seen it 1,000 times. They say we do not sell email addresses. You've seen that when you give up your email addresses, we do not sell them. Well, in a sense, they're giving it to a Mexican restaurant, and then the travel agent's going to respond. So you have to make that connection clear at the point of drop, and the point of drop is the Goldfish Bowl. Okay, so there's no secrets. The other key is when you do contact these people, and this is just one idea, I'm just belaboring this a little bit, that you do not sell anything. You just say, thanks for coming to the restaurant. We think we eat here all the time. We love this place. We're glad you enjoyed it. We're sorry you didn't win the prize. If, we're a local organization, if you would like to be kept apprised of travel deals, shoot me an email and I'll put you on my newsletter. That's all. That's all. So you're just asking people if you know if you want to join me. Here I am, right there. And that's how you do it. Now, it may not work, but there's so many things you can try like that. This is just an example that I saw the other day. Now here's one. Well, I won't go into that. We'll leave it to you guys from now on. All right, let me just read this and do a quick. My focus is on custom student group travel. Custom student group travel. Any ideas where I can strategically place my goldfish bowl? Well, if it's students, I would suggest the cafeteria, just off the top of my mind. Or where do students go? Do they go to pool halls? I don't know. Probably a lot of them go to pool halls. When I was in college, that's where I hung out. But so Katie, go put your goldfish bowl down the saloon. But no, I don't know. You're gonna have to think about that. We can't brainstorm that today, unless here, student travel. Everybody on the phone, student travel. Type in where, if you wanted to get student travel, and if it's just using the goldfish bowl as an example, where would you put it? Where would you put it? I'm taking everybody off mute here. All right, the lines are open. Student travel, what comes to mind? Don't type right now. Stop. Don't type on your keyboard right now. But student travel, where would you put the goldfish bowl, if any place? Any ideas?
Hey, Mike, it's Tracy.
Hey, Tracy.
I would say any restaurants anywhere near the university or the high school. I would say the student union, like somebody else mentioned, the registrar's office, any place where the kids can take their laundry and have it done. I mean, there's a million places you could do that.
All right, no typing, please. You know what? You're right, though, because the laundromats, yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea.
A sporting goods store. It's Phyllis, a sporting goods store.
Sporting goods store, right, where the kids go. Yep, absolutely. Now,
Theater.
I'd say a bookstore.
Yes, bookstore.
Bookstore is a good idea. That's an excellent. They're all excellent ideas, but you can see here. See, here's the downside, folks. I'm going to mute again. Here's the downside: is there is no downside. If they will let you put a bowl there to fill in, and now with a student, they might not have cards. Remember that they might not have business cards, so you're going to have a nice, easy name and email. You know, just something they can fill out with a couple of pencils there. But here's the point. The point is, whatever you try, whatever you do, it's not illegal. It's not in bad taste. You're trying to do something for somebody. And in the long run, you're trying to introduce yourself so you can help them in the future save money and make better memories. That's what you're trying to do. So there's no downside. And anything that comes good of this is an upside. Your visibility will go up, period, unless you shoot yourself in the foot. So my point is that there are things that you can do that you're not doing that you don't know if they'll work or not. And that's all I'm trying to do, is just trying to get you moving in that right direction. I'm going to, I know there's a golf course in upstate New York. It's kind of like a 9-hole cow pasture is what it is. But it's a golf course, and the woman asked my brother, you know, your brother's in marketing, meaning me, you know, what can we do to stimulate more revenue at this little golf course so they don't have to close it down? Well, I'm fast at work thinking what I can do to a golf course to generate revenues. And it goes back to the first line. The first line is that no one's going to play golf there if they don't know it's a choice. So it all boils down to visibility. You becoming more visible. And there's your idea of stimulation to move forward. Okay, let me see what and it's fun. One of our inner circle folks called up and read an article by Richard Earls from Travel Research Online this week about promoting the travel agency industry again. You know, promoting us as a good solid resource when traveling, because everyone's thinking internet or travel agents or dinosaurs and the whole deal. So this particular woman, who was not a member of ASTA, and years ago everybody belonged to ASTA, the Association of Travel Agents, out of Washington or Alexandria, Virginia, and she was not a member of ASTA, so she called up a regional president of a local chapter and said, you know, why don't we get some local travel agencies collaborating together to help each other promote the travel agency industry? And the response was totally negative. It was absolutely totally negative. And like a real turnoff, like a real bummer. And this came from a local chapter of ASTA. And she wasn't a member, but she would never join now. I mean, she'd never join now. But the message I got from that is that we are professionals, and it's okay to collaborate, and it's okay to share. Because if I'm a travel agent and I do good, and they meet you, a travel agent, they're going to make the connection. We are all in this thing together. Now, the bad news is, in our industry, because of the ease of entry, there are an awful lot of bad ones. Not bad ones, uneducated ones. Okay? People who are taking shortcuts, people who don't know what they're talking about. Now, that holds true in any industry, really. But in our industry, there's an awful lot of people who do this as a hobby, and they don't pay their dues, and they don't go to the classes, they don't study, they don't know anything about anything. So the problem is we have to try to get above those. And that was the attempt for this local travel agent, is to collaborate and promote our professionalism. And from the big organization out of Alexandria, this particular person came across as a bummer. And she was couldn't believe it. Well, I told her I believe it, because that agency owner is human. And as you know, humans are basically lazy. I mean, you can fight me on that, but I'm never gonna decide otherwise until not every people is lazy, but in general, a lot of people take shortcuts. And that's what I don't want from you guys. Now, if anybody ever says to you, now try this on, you're guilty of this. I know you're guilty of this already. I don't even know you, and I know you're guilty of this. When somebody comes up to you and says, I have a great idea, I want you to say, fantastic, let me hear it. And then 99% of people who hear ideas come out with this following response. And you can check it, you can listen for it, and you can endorse it, because this is exactly what's going to happen. The big knee-jerk response is going to be this. Oh, the problem with that is that's it. That's what they're going to say. You come up with an idea, and 99% of the humans walking the face of the earth are going to tell you what's wrong with it. They think it's their God-given position to say, oh, people have already done that. And the people never pay for that. You can't do that. That'll never work. The people won't pay for that. I mean, that's what they'll do. So you can't help them, but I don't want you to be a bummer. Hey, tell me your idea. How do you plan on doing that? That sounds pretty cool. Work it with them. Help them think through it, because chances are they haven't thought through it. Help them think through it, but don't be a bummer. Boring people, oh my, don't get me started. Don't be boring, folks. I don't care if you sell anything. I don't care if you end up in soup kitchens. Don't be boring. That's your big problem. Not yours, but in a lot of people. All right. One of our people sent me, one of our members sent me a piece of paper the other day and said, check this out. Why don't we use this on tomorrow's call? And I said, great. Look at that photo. We'll work for free. Now, is that the travel agency mantra? I mean, it used to be. I mean, hey, that woman's a travel agent. She works for free. Well, a lot of you work for free out there. And you don't have to. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. And the point is, in this particular report that I was reading, that travel agents have three issues, concerns. One of them is that you work on things that aren't necessarily profitable. Now, I don't necessarily agree carte blanche with what this particular person reported, but I will say this. You need to eat regularly, and if travel is the way you choose to do it, you have to be profitable. That's obvious. But every transaction doesn't have to be profitable. If your client is profitable over the 12-month period, then that's good. But you can lose. You can have a lost leader. You can say to yourself, gee, I spent 5 hours on that and didn't make a dime. You can say that. But you can't say it at the end of the year. At the end of the year, your relationship has to be a profitable one. Not that they're bad people, it's just that they're not for you. Now, this particular person said, if you can make a $200 commission on something, don't do it. Wait for the $5,000 commission. And I totally disagree with that, because you may lose money to build a relationship at first. But I just want you to know what you're doing, not just be a blind lamb following people taking advantage of you. So profitability, yes. One way to do that is to charge for it. You don't care what the trip costs. I don't care where you buy it. Costco, I don't care where you get the trip. If you want to talk to Mike, and you want Mike's recommendations, and you want Mike's advice, and you want my support, and you want my phone number, that's going to cost you $50. Now, I don't care where you buy your trip, and that $50 is not going against the trip. It has nothing to do with the trip. It has to do with me and my business. And you won't be sorry. You won't regret that $50. You'll be happy to say, well, how come it wasn't more? After you get to see what I'm going to do for you. So, working on business that isn't profitable, I want you to just go think about it a little bit. Are you giving yourself away, or you have a plan? That's the question there. Treating your business like a hobby. A lot of people do that. And this is a dicey one, because people really get their back up. And you can believe this or don't believe it, or you can say that you've skated with it for 25 years or not skated with it for 25 years. But if you send me an email and it has Gmail on it, I'm going to candy coat this. I want you to understand you're delivering a message. If your email says AOL on it, I want you to know you're delivering a message. If you have Comcast on it, you're delivering a message. All right. Now, you can tell me you've been doing it for 25 years. God bless you. Do it for another 25 years. All I'm telling you, that if this is a business, then there's some business expenses involved. Not foolish expenses, but business. I'm going to ante up. I'm professional. I charge a fee. This is a business. Now, if you want it as a hobby, that's great too. No problem. That's okay. I'm getting to the age where I'm going to start doing more hobby stuff and less business stuff. That's what people do. But just understand that. If it's a business, let's buckle down. Let's be at work on time. Let's work through the whole week. Let's treat it as a business. And third one, this particular person was ignoring the numbers. And the numbers, that is something that, I don't want to say it's esoteric, but I want to say that it is kind of, I don't know, this is my mentality. Maybe it's just me talking, but I mean, you can say ignoring the numbers is easy to do. I guess I'm going to say it that way, because of our makeup, our nature. But if you want to be successful, you have to start paying attention to the numbers. And there's two ways to become more profitable. Number one, you can sell more profitable stuff, but you cannot control sales. Okay, you can't control that. You can't make somebody buy from you. So you're out there working hard, but you cannot control sales. What you can control are your expenses. So if you want to make more money, the first thing you do is you look at your expenses and see where you can cut intelligently the money that you're spending on your business. And I say intelligently, not foolish cuts. But then, after you've trimmed your expenses, now you go out and get more sales, and you'll be okay. The numbers. Here's a number for you. How many times this week, today's Wednesday, how many times this week have you had a stranger say the words no to you? How many times? How many times this week have you had a stranger say no to you? And I'm going to guess the answer is 0. Maybe 1. Well, I'm going to pick a number. Every week, if you don't have 20 strangers say no to you, then you're selling yourself and your business and your family short. Okay, there you go. There you have it. Number 20. Now, if you don't like the number 20, pick number 10. If 10 gives you hives, do 5. But pick a number. How many phone calls have you made this week asking if you could meet with somebody? 200? Too many times. One? I don't know. That's easy. What about one a day? What about 5 a day? 2 a day? I don't know what it is, but pick a number. And then Friday comes and you say, okay, have I called those numbers? Have I had people say no? Have I sent out my 100 emails? Have I read my 3 articles that are going to help me think clearer? Have I gone to TED Talks and watched one TED Talk to see if I could pick up an idea on how to improve my presentation skills? No, just give yourself. I don't care what your numbers are. Now, anybody on the line who's known about my 52-week planner, this is not a. I'm not selling a 52-week planner, but for those who know or don't know, I went to Weight Watchers with my wife once, and I saw how the numbers worked. Losing weight is numbers, folks. It's calories in versus calories out. And if more calories go out than come in, you're going to lose weight. It's a direct there it is right there. Calories in, calories out. So what I did was I went home and I drew up my 52-week sales planner, and I gave points to marketing tactics. And you're in the inner circle. You have access to this report. I'm not going to sell it to you. You already have it, for heaven's sakes. You have this 52-week planner in the special reports section in the website. But what it is pick something. Pick emails, pick phone calls, pick sales letters, pick seminars, pick webinars, pick whatever you want. I don't care what you pick. Give yourself a number, and then hold yourself accountable to that number. And if you hold yourself accountable, it's going to work. There's no mystery here. The more phone calls you make, the more times your phone is going to ring. And it goes through emails and everything you do. This is the year of the do, which brings me to a point I almost glossed over. Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelt. You're not ready for this. It's April. April is in the second quarter. 1 quarter, over 25% of the year is gone. And it was just yesterday when it was January 1st. It was just yesterday. But now 1 quarter is gone. And we're already in our second quarter. And pretty soon it's going to be halftime. So I guess what I'm saying is, what are you waiting for? I mean, the clock's ticking. Your success. You want to be more successful? Let's go. Let's do something. Give yourself some numbers and make sure Friday does not come by without you hitting those numbers. That's what we want to do. If I was smart, which I'm not, but if I was, I would have some app, and I'd hook up an app to your phones where you could just plug in your little numbers that would come onto my computer, and then I would sit here on Thursday and saying, hey, what are you doing, man? You got to make 5 more phone calls before Friday. I'd look over your shoulder and bust your chops, but I'm not smart enough to do that, so you're on your own there. So sorry. Okay, so, hey, yesterday, the blind man. I don't know if you read my blog about the blind man, but it's not the blind man, it's the blind man. It's the Venetian blind man, not the guy who can't see. I'm going to just speed this up. It was yesterday's blog. If you want to read the blog, go to www.mikemarshev.com/blog. How clever is that? MikeMarshev.com/blog. And you will go to yesterday's post about the blind man. And this was a stranger. I and my wife had mentioned the words blinds for the kitchen. So it was our idea, on our mind. We weren't going to do anything about it until I saw the truck outside. So I saw the truck, and I saw the guy, and I said, hey, can you stop in and take a measurement? I'm a shopper, folks. Am I a bad guy? Did he say to me, yeah, I'll come up there if you give me $200? No, he didn't say that. I'm a shopper. And he said, yeah, let me come up and measure your window. I might not buy it for 17 years. He doesn't know. But unbeknownst to him, blinds are on my mind. So in any event, he was visible. Number one, I beat on you. You got to be visible. He wasn't in his office. If he was in his office, I would not have seen him. I saw him in my parking lot. He was out. I want you to get out. Unless you're out, nothing's going to happen. Number one, he was visible. Number two, he made a good impression. He wasn't ready for me. I just spotted him. People are watching you, folks. Always remember that. I don't care where you go, what you say, what you do. People are watching you, engaging you. Remember that, especially the young folks out there. We're watching and we're making judgment calls on you. the way you talk to others, the way you talk to the cashier at the supermarket. We are watching you. Number two, he made a good impression. He had clean jeans and a button-down shirt. He said, oh, yeah, this guy looks okay. His truck was clean. How cool is that? His truck was clean. Now, that number three did not mean a lot to me as much as it did to my neighbor downstairs, and she had him come in and measure her window. The guy had a double whammy going here. But she said, did you see his truck? And I said, no, I didn't notice it. She said, it was clean. And she said, if he keeps his truck clean, chances are he'll keep my kitchen clean when he starts drilling into my windowsill. Now, think about that. She noticed the truck being clean and said, if that's clean, this must be cool. You go into a hotel and look under the bed. If under the bed is nice and clean, you figure the bathroom's got to be clean. You know that story. Behind the door is clean, the sills are clean. We check these little tiny areas out of the way. So what areas are out of the way with you that people are making judgment calls on? He measured and promised to get back to me. He was bright, he was brief, and he was gone. He didn't come in and sit at my table and say, where's the coffee? He was in and he was out. Sign of a good salesman. He did not shoot himself in the foot. He didn't give himself enough time to do that. He said he was going to call me back the next day. The next day came. My phone rang at 9 o'clock. I didn't think of the blind man. I forgot about this guy already. And there he was at 9 o'clock giving me a quote on the phone. It was a perfect scenario. And I want you folks to go to MikeMarshev.com blog. You'll see the whole thing right there. But this is you. And I tell you, if I buy blinds, they're going to be from him. And I tell you, I'm going to buy them. If not sooner or later. But I'm going to buy them, and I'm going to buy them from him. Now, if he's smart, there's still an unknown yet. And pay attention to this. If he called me 9 o'clock yesterday morning and hung up, and called me at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and said, Mike, did you make a decision yet? Then everything would be wasted. But if he does not call me back in 3 weeks, and pick a random number, I say 3 weeks, and say, Mike, I know you're heading north. Just wanted to know before you go, is there anything I can answer? Is there anything we can do? And if he doesn't follow up, then he will have taken one step of shooting himself in the foot, meaning I don't care about this guy. He's just a number, another quote. I don't care if he gives me the blinds or not. So follow-up is the number 7 on this list that is yet to be defined yet. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't follow up on leads, you are an amateur. You are a hobbyist. If you want to be a pro, if you want to be the best in the business, you follow up professionally, not stupid, not like a moron, but you do follow up. And if you don't, you can just put a big A on your forehead saying, I'm an amateur. Your choice is yours. And I don't know why I thought of this, but I did. And it was the kind of like the blind man made me think of it. But the Ritz-Carlton, they have a Credo card they carry around with them. They're pretty good. Ritz-Carlton demands a lot of money for their rooms. People pay it, and they're glad they paid it. Interesting. They have a 3-step motto or a credo, whatever it is called, and you can check it on their card. All of their employees carry this card. They all carry it. I've asked them for it. I have 3 of them in my drawer, but it's true. Say hello with enthusiasm. That's the key. Don't close sales, folks. Open sales. If you open sales right, they'll close themselves if the guy wants to buy something, or the woman. Say hello, but not just, hi, how you doing? Say hello with enthusiasm. Look him in the eye. Give some body language. Say, I'm glad you came in, man. This is really cool. My name is Mike. How are you doing? And what's your name? And be enthusiastic about it. Don't be a boring deadbeat. It'll make a difference. And number 2 is anticipate what's going on here. That's what the Ritz-Carlton does. They anticipate what possibly could be happening. The guy could lose his luggage. The soup was cold. They think ahead of the schedule. What could go wrong here? They're not just caught with their minds blank. They're thinking of what could happen here, and I'm ready for it if it does. You know that. What could happen if your client gets to the airport? You know what could happen. You know, the plane could be delayed. Someone could steal their cell phone. There's all kinds of things that could happen. So think that through. So when the phone call comes, you're not caught, holy cow, I never thought of that. Yeah, you think of everything. Anticipation, number 2. And number 3, say goodbye with sincerity. This is going to sound kind of goofy, but those who know me know that that's what I am. Walk people to the door. Walk people to the car. Walk people to your driveway. Walk them to their car. Walk them out of your house. Don't just say goodbye in the TV room. Walk them out. Be with them at their departure. They will notice that. If they and if you start doing it, you're going to start seeing how many people screw this up. How many people say, "Can I help you?" without standing up from their desk while they're multitasking at doctor's offices. You will notice that. Don't be one of them. Be the exception. Oh, there's a clever line. Become the exception. Whoever thought of that? But become the exception. Say hello with enthusiasm. Anticipate what's going on in your world, and say goodbye with sincerity. And I had a lot of people respond to my no problem, but I'm going down with that one. Don't say no problem. I don't care who you are. Don't say you're welcome. All right, I'll go down with that one. We won't belabor that one today. But say you're welcome. Or say whatever you want to say, but just know that you're welcome is the right answer. Okay. All right. So there's, let's see, I want to do this again. There's what we had today. I'm going to go over here and see if anybody here, I'm going to take, all. All right, the line is open. We have about a couple minutes left. Anybody want to say, add, edit? The lines are open. Anybody?
Mike, it's Tracy. I did want to mention that I used to work for a company who actually paid Ritz-Carlton to come and teach all of us how to speak on the phone. And you would be amazed at what a difference it made in the response when people would call in, when you use the kind of language that we were taught to use. It does make a huge difference in the first impression.
Well, thank you, Tracy, for sharing that. There was some background noise, so I muted again, but thank you for saying that. And there's a YouTube video that would be fun to watch. Go to YouTube and go to YouTube and then type in blind man, B-L-I-N-D, blind man, nice day. I don't know what I don't know what it's going to say, but there's a YouTube where this blind man is sitting there, and he has his jar, and people are walking by and not giving him any money. And a woman stopped by, just the high heels. They show her high heels. Some of you probably saw this. Is a great YouTube video. And she picks up his sign and writes 3 words on the sign, puts it down, and walks away. And then the clock fast forwards to 4 in the afternoon. She walks by again, and he says, he feels her shoes and says, "Oh, you're the woman who stopped by this morning, aren't you?" She goes, "Yes." He goes, "You wrote something on my sign. What did you write?" Well, after she wrote it, people started give him a lot of money. So there's a big difference. And he said, I'm blind and I can't see, something like that. That was his words. And what she wrote down was, "It's a nice day and I can't see it." Now, the message, it's a powerful video. The message is the power of words, the choice of words. It's the no problem versus you're welcome. Simple, yeah. Makes a difference, huge. And as Tracy just said, the choice of yeah versus yes is huge. Now, I don't care with the vernacular, and I don't care. You can defend your kids till you're blue in the face. I don't care. But the choice of words will make a difference. Okay, wearing a hat inside, who cares? Big deal. Take it off. It'll make a difference. People will notice that. A woman can open up her car door. You open up a car door for a woman, she will notice that. Little things or big things, choice of words, very important. Why? Because the competition is taking the shortcuts. The competition is saying, "Oh, it's okay, everybody does it." Well, okay, let everybody do it. But that's not what you don't want to be like everybody. You want to be something special. And to be special, you got to do special. And the good news is it's not hard to do special today. So, Tracy, thanks. And let me see. I also have also you sell on the phone. Yeah, here's a major league one, folks. This is a major league one. and that is when you talk on the phone, early, very early in the conversation, say to the person, hey, let me have your phone number so in case we get disconnected, I can call you right back. Now, that's telling I'm telling you that you are very important to me. Give me your phone number so in case we get screwed up, I can call you right back. You've been on the phone for 25 minutes, on hold, on music, on elevator stuff, music and all of that, and all of a sudden you get disconnected or they try to transfer you over somewhere and you're gone. You know how you feel. Well, give me your phone number. In case that happens, I'll call you right back. You'd love me for that. That's easy. That's common sense. That's great. That's excellent. So that's how easy it is. Someone did that to me just the other day. I was calling Motorola. Hey, Motorola, big outfit. My modem didn't work. Well, I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting the runaround. Hey, Mike, give me your number in case we get disconnected. I love this guy. If I knew who he was, I'd invite him to Easter dinner next year. Hey, and here's some. Jennifer said, someone recommended I clean my car inside and out before an interview. Yeah, you want to do that. Why? Because if the guy is sharp you're interviewing, they might walk you to the car. And here's one that I used to laugh at. There's different kinds of people, A, B, C's, and D's. All of our personalities are different, but the A is an IBM president type. Okay, it's an IBM president type of a person. There's another type person who's the sales. Let's go play golf. Let's tell a joke. Let's go have a beer type person. Okay, so look at those two. If you went over to the president's house today, he didn't know you were coming, and you walked into his living room, what would you expect to see? Okay, and you said, let me see the trunk of your car, Mr. President. What would you expect to see? Well, in most cases, you'd expect to see a squared away house, a piano, a vase, flowers, maybe a dog over there that holds umbrellas, I don't know. But you'd expect something. Well, how many of you, if we go over to your house today, right now, unannounced, and says, come on, let's go into your house, how many of you would say, hey, Mike, can you wait in the car for 10 minutes? I just have to straighten a few things up. All right? I mean, there it is right there. Some of you giggled. I can't hear you, but some of you know what I'm talking about. And that's what we're talking about, is that we have to be prepared. We have to be prepared because we just never know. And that's where the work comes in. That's where the homework. That's where the chance favors the prepared mind. So it's all good. It's all good stuff. And I got an LOL for Phyllis. Thank you. And then one of you said, there's no way in hell you're coming into my house today, Mike. Forget about it. That's beautiful. Thanks. See, now, let me tell you this. That sense of humor, that's cool. That's bonding. I mean, I want you to be yourself out there. I want you to be yourself. Now, you can say to yourself, okay, Mike, I'm going to be myself, so therefore you're going to come into my house the way it is. Yeah, you can say that. And in my case, I probably wouldn't even notice. But somebody would. That's the point. You're playing, not playing necessarily to me. So there's a thin line, folks, of you saying, I want to be me. Well, you can be you. You can be you, and I want you to be you. But there's a line, though. There is a line. You can be you all the way to the poorhouse, or you can be you all the way to a successful human being by your definition. And it's not all lazy, easy way. I mean, there's some work involved. I'm learning the piano again. I know how to play the piano, but I'm learning again. I'm studying tablature, and I'm doing that just for kind of like a mind game. My wife does jigsaw puzzles. I want to learn how to read music for no other reason. I think that it's going to make me think. It's going to make me slow down. It's going to make me want to say, oh, what's that? Well, how do I do that? It's just going to make me get better thinking. That's all. I bought some French tapes the other day. I mean, I live in Florida. I don't speak French, but I bought some French tapes saying, yeah, I'm going to learn a little bit of French. So always learning, always trying to do better, always tweaking ourselves, and having fun doing it. So anyway, that's the message there. Let's see. Oh, and Roberta has a showcase of a travel house. She travels a lot and has all these pictures. So she has like a museum. I'm not a museum, Roberta. I'm sorry, but you know what I mean. And people come in and they go in and they sit and they watch, and it's kind of like a selling point, you know. Which brings me to another point. Roberta, by design, the strategy, I got to get people to my house. If I get them to my house, I've got them. That's the strategy. I got to get them to eat. I'll invite them to dinner. I'll invite them to go over and whatever. I got to get them to my house. Well, it's easier to answer the phone, folks, than it is to call people. So let's get people to call us. I can answer the phone. The bell rings, I answer it. And when you answer the phone, you are in total control of the phone call. Not the caller, it's the callee. The guy who picks up the bell, they are in total control if that phone call is going to be a good one or a bad one. So you want people to call you. You want people to come to you, into your place of business. You choose a restaurant, have them come to your restaurant. Let's have coffee at the diner. You pick the diner. You have them come to you, because when you're the leader, you can control that conversation. You can bring your personality out and be you. If you're a guest, it doesn't work that way, because sometimes when you're a guest and you try to take over, you become obnoxious or aggressive. See, so there's a difference. So if I'm in control, it's my party. Take your shoes off, relax. You want a beer? There's the refrigerator. Help yourself. I can control the environment when you come to me. So that's another little tidbit there. Okay. A lot of folks are starting to send things in. We're not going to have time to get to these. I'll try to take a look at these and get to the ones that I can. But next Wednesday is the sales meeting, and the following is going to be our first Idea Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. And I'm at Mike, who am I? Mike at MikeMarshev.com. Mike at MikeMarshev.com. If anybody has any emails or want to send me anything that you wrote today, if you want to follow up on it, I'm at Mike at MikeMarshev.com. This is recorded. You'll be able to go back and listen to the recording. I want to thank everybody for coming in today, and I will talk to you next time. This is the end and the final, until we do it again. Who knows? We never know what we're going to do, of Open Mic Wednesday. Have a great day, folks. Thanks for coming in.